Welcome back to the Hooligan Pit.
It's time, Chad. Hey, buddy, I got something for you.
Oh yeah, my trophy.
The Champs Trophy is here. Hooligans Pitch 2025 Manager of the Season. Chad, congrats. I can't wait to hand this to you in person. You earned it. Anyway, just wanted to show that to you. Also, beautiful work. Beautiful work.
Yeah. Great.
The other one looks great too. Trophies all around. I don't know which one we're going to go with for the next couple seasons, but Chad, we're back. Better late than never. What's up, world?
A couple weeks into the season, but we're back.
Hey, we had
We're
a
ready to go.
busy August. I'm sure people are like, are they going to do this again this season? Oh yeah, we're here.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Chad, we got fans. We got fans. We got fans scattered around the country. We got fans in.
I've seen the dots.
You've seen the dots, yeah. The dots. The dots make sense now. I had some fans tell me that there's fans in England that are listening to us.
Cool.
Maybe not liking everything we're doing as far as our hot takes and our drinks. Mostly the drinks. Drinks. So you know who you are. But yeah. So
Wait, did they have a recommendation of like what we should be drinking otherwise?
No, I didn't get to speak to them in person. I haven't even met them yet, to be honest.
Okay,
so
okay.
I just heard from a third party kind of
Sure.
what's in line for us. But shout outs to Uncle Rob. He's waiting for us to do our predictions table. So
perfect.
get out your pens and paper when that's going to come through. I went to a wedding this weekend, Chad. Awesome time in Santa Barbara. Congrats, Catherine and Neil. So with that, I am drinking a seltzer because I'm still on recovery. And honestly, it's kind of late, 9:30. I just want something light.
That's fair. I'm diving into something I didn't know existed and just saw and thought sounded interesting. We got a peachy little thing.
Oh,
Hazy IPA, Sierra Nevada.
okay.
You're back in the Sierra Nevada neck of the woods, so you can find it easily now, I'm sure.
I mean, had Pliny like the first day I got here, so
There
it's
you
good.
go.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back. All right, Chad. Let's dive into what we've missed since
Holy moly.
mid-July.
Yeah. And like before we dive into this, I know the last episode we kind of started and we're like, oh my god, so much drama already.
Yeah.
And I feel like that was just scratching the surface of the drama. Like I feel like it exploded after that.
Yeah, especially with all the transfers. Rocky start to some seasons for some teams and excellent start for others. What's your position on what popped off for you that just kind of made it for a spicy August?
I mean, yeah, a lot of it was, transfers with especially the Isak saga, and of course every single opinion online about it and every pundit having their own, like, he's doing the right thing or like, no, he's being disrespectful, yada, yada. But then also just like, I think some of it was some of the excitement from preseason, how teams are playing in there, United, to how they're playing in actual league season play has been dramatic, I guess you could say. We're getting Amarim memes and quotes already.
Dude,
that
how
look great. Like
him looking at his Pokemon binder on the sideline was just so good. Manchester United going from winning the Asian Cup trophy celebration, we've seen it, to probably the most disappointing start in franchise history. I'm shocked Amarin hasn't been fired yet, to be honest. I'm curious, were they waiting for a City smashing as soon as we get back from the break to then let him go? That seems cruel, but here we are. I mean, they just got away with a narrow victory this last weekend off of a PK in the 97th minute, which they earned, but it was it didn't feel right. Right. So yeah, United, in the big signings they had too. Everyone was saying, even in our chat, hey, United top 4 possibility.
I mean, yeah, you look at, they just reformulated their whole front line basically, and I think individually all those names sound good and should, in theory, be able to work together, but um, a systems issue, I don't know. Something
Yeah.
is still not clicking, and I think Amram is quickly running out of time. Maybe I think he might just off himself at this point. Like he seems to be losing faith in the project himself. So
He seems embarrassed. Him not watching the PKs in the cup match this past week was unbelievable. Honestly, when I was saying, is he sitting down, hiding behind people right now? And yes, that's exactly what he was doing.
Yeah.
It was just insane to see. And then of course, just going back to transfer drama, Guehi trying to get a move to Liverpool, and his coach openly saying, if you leave, I'm quitting. And so that put everyone in a tough spot.
It was a tough situation all around. I think, like, I get it. You took Palace to a 12th place finish last season, right where they perfectly should be, but also got the FA Cup out of it, right? So like, what a great season that was for you. And then, like, what happens to most lower to middle table teams that pop off? All the good players get bought and sold off, and I get the frustration from the coach's point of view, because his job kind of relies on that, and especially if it sounded like Palace was maybe struggling to find a suitable replacement for him in time, which, like, the talk of Guehi going to Liverpool's been around all summer. So why were you not lining things up already? Like, this guy. Go ahead.
The blame got shifted to Liverpool too at the end of this, saying, why didn't you try to get this done sooner? And it was like, things needed to fall into place. I mean, a lot of deadline days happen, or deadline transfers happen on the last day, and this was just one of them. And this is mostly just Palace being stubborn. And I'd be curious what Guehi's really going to do this next half of the season. And of course, he's going to play, but is he going to play with integrity? Is he going to play with?
I think he will, partly because he seemed to be respectful to Palace all the way up until the window closed, right? Like, wasn't really pushing for a move, was kind of like wasn't making the Instagram posts of like, they won't let me leave, I'm locked here, and all that. But then I think also it probably helps that we're quickly approaching World Cup, so you gotta play, right? And you want to perform at your highest. So I think he maybe begrudgingly will, like, continue to put his best efforts in. And really, I think if you're Liverpool, you just come back in the winter window and get him for cheaper, probably.
I mean, he's gonna be in a Liverpool kit next year. I could almost guarantee it. Yeah. And at that point, it's free. But we got money to spend. We got a Bitcoin from Coutinho that needs to go into the works, and it's already happening. I mean, the Isak transfer fee is absurd, astonishing.
Oh yeah.
That was just because we can money. I wish we would have lowballed it a little bit after all of this, because Castle just kind of dragged us along on this crazy ride that was just not necessary. And then fans comparing the situation to Trent, it was just like totally separate ideas, and how Newcastle actually brought Isak over from La Liga and made him into the player that he was, which is just, I think, a terrible take, because he was a 60 million player. So you bought a 60 million average player and turned him into this. I was like, well, that rarely happens. So in the end, we got him. I'm fascinated at how Liverpool is going to throw out their starting 11. Mm-hmm. The depth in our defense is scary, but when you have the flexibility of Szoboszlai becoming the best right back in the world, and Gravenbach coming back to be a center back too, there's flexibility there. You can have Frimpong go play in the right wing. You can bring Salah central. I assume we're going to have two strikers playing up front. It just makes sense to do that because of the talent that we have. But we haven't had a two-striker system since, I want to say it was like a Suarez Andy Carroll back in the day, or almost a Benteke Carroll situation that we had going on. Just two true number nines.
Yeah.
And those were rough years. So very different lineup from 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, like same way with the Guehi thing. I see both sides of the Isak deal. Like, Newcastle, obviously he's important to them. He's top goal scorer and won them a handful of games last season, so they don't want to lose him. But at the same time, it's like if a player has already kind of decided they're kind of done with your project and wants out, you're better off to just sell him. Like if you hold him there, like either one, he just won't play, or two, yeah, you put him out there, but he's not playing at 110%. His heart's not in it. He's just counting down the days until that next transfer window opens. So, I get it. It's tough, but you're a business at the end of the day. Just you doubled your money, basically. Take it and move on, and
they got Walt Bain.
Yeah, and you're backed by like the Saudis or whoever has Newcastle now. So like you're not really hurting for money. You're just trying to play it a little more straight than some of the other like city and oil kind of conglomerate owned, state owned.
Yep.
So yeah, I think silly to drag it out. I think you're right. Liverpool should have probably come back and like went lower because like you can, right? Like it was gonna happen either way, I think. But I mean, yeah, like even as a whole, Liverpool's. I think a lot of teams had really good transfer windows, but I think Liverpool's is just like one for the books of getting Isak, getting Wirtz in, like two just huge transfers and like both incredible players that hopefully will click well together and be the next Haaland De Bruyne kind of pairing where like teams are afraid to see both of them on the team sheet.
Yeah, we had the three largest transfers of the summer. £145 for Isak, $125 for Wirtz, and $95 for Ekitike. My favorite thing looking at this transfer, though, Chad, is the ages. 25, 22, 23. Hello, future.
Exactly.
Everyone last year was so worried about our team aging out and Virgil becoming old, Salah becoming old. Who's going to replace them? Well, maybe not direct replacements for those two, but this is a great stepping stone in the right direction for the next dynasty that I don't want to assume, but I think we're going to build because
I mean, you're looking at the correct age profiles and the correct level of talent.
Right.
So.
Right. And then
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a good start to the next phase or whatever you want to call it,
But then deadline day comes around. We see Eze go to Arsenal, which was just came out of nowhere. Xavi Simons going to Tottenham. Like, if you had the choice between the two, I think earlier in the season, who would you, or I guess we'll go in the summer, midsummer, who are you taking there?
I think I'd probably still lean Eze. Xavi Simons, I was excited to watch when Arsenal played against them. I think with group stages of Champions League, or maybe it was Europa League. I forget, a little bit ago now, but and he looked exciting, looked great. But then the times I would see him in either Euros or Nations League, whatever one it was, it didn't seem to like click that well for him. Like he couldn't really get going. And then I kind of stopped following him, but also kind of just stopped seeing his highlights pop up on Reddit and all that. And Eze, I think, has just been one to look at for a while now. I mean, was one of the stars at Palace and, has that creative ability that at times, Arsenal has lacked, especially when Odegaard was out or like when Odegaard and Saka were out, it fell flat. So I think to be able to bring in someone that can offer that and is, Premier League experienced and kind of in the prime of his career should be the smarter buy. And for it to play out the way it did of looking like he was going to Tottenham and then a quick U-turn to Arsenal was like just the extra little cherry on top.
The Havertz injury was a slight blessing
Yeah.
It's strange to me though that was the catalyst for this to really get the
Yeah.
job done. I didn't get that
Yeah.
part of it. Why couldn't
I
you
mean,
have both?
they say it wasn't an issue, like connected, but I mean, it looked like things were going to be pretty quiet,
Mm-hmm.
after Gyökeres came in and all that. So I think the Havertz injury definitely played a part. Maybe those funds were always there and they knew that they could kind of get Eze, but then felt like maybe team was fine, and then injury happened, and they were like, okay, well, we maybe weren't going to spend this money, but like
Mm-hmm.
we did kind of set it aside for that. So I don't know. I mean, I think it's a good signing. He'll be, more help creatively, more help for Odegaard if he goes out injured. Even appears on the left wing, as he did at the end of the Liverpool game, and that left wing is and has been the weaker attacking side of Arsenal for seasons now. So
Yep.
anything to help that side, I think will be great. And that could very well just be Eze in the middle, and he's used to looking left more than Odegaard has that combination with Saka so entwined that just someone with a different vision in there could be key to unlocking the left side. I don't know, but um, yeah, I mean, I think either one of those signs will be great. I think Xavi Simons is a great pickup for Tottenham, considering Madison went out with I think it was ACL or something, but something big. So yeah, I think Tottenham will be interesting to watch with him and Kudus there, of like two young, creative players, and see what they can do with that.
I mean, I got Tottenham pretty high on my list.
Okay.
It's a major compliment to I think what Thomas Frank can instill in that team.
Mm-hmm.
I think barring injury, last year could have been very different for them.
Sure.
They brought in excellent pieces, all excellent
Yeah.
signings in my book. Something that we really haven't said a lot about Tottenham, I feel like, in the past. And now they have a pretty young squad, players who have been around the Premier League now for a couple years. If you look at their roster, oldest player on their team is Polina at 30.
Wow.
So, I think I don't want to say sky's the limit for this team, but what we've seen in the first 2 weeks, a little bit of slippage in week 3. It's been nice. I think it's been a surprise to most of us, but also not a surprise because they had the quality players there too. It's just more the execution, right?
I think now the signings that they made, I think Thomas Frank makes them feel way more balanced, especially considering under Ainge it was just like we just push high and attack and that's all we do, and Frank is obviously used to maintaining like Brentford in Premier League, so able to kind of adjust and do what needs to be done to win games, or at least get anything from a game, which I think will really help Tottenham. Like there's going to be those games where they cruise and destroy, and then there's going to be those games where they struggle, and I mean there will still be those flat games like they just had, but I think they're in a good spot, right? Like they got a good base now. I do think their depth will be an issue. They don't have a lot of strength in depth, so we'll see how that kind of plays out. But yeah, I think those fans should be excited, and it should be a good season for them. Like it shouldn't be a repeat of last season of just wondering how low can we go, but then still get the be active in Europa League. But
Right.
but we'll see. Yeah.
And then breaking news: Daniel Levy left today.
Yeah.
I kind of surprised by that. I'm wondering if there's another offer out there that was sent his way, and because this didn't seem like a move that came from above, this seemed like a move he did on his own.
Yeah, and even like beyond, if it was him or the board or whoever, it just felt like weird timing to me. Like,
Yep.
I feel like if this was going to happen, you would have done it, early transfer window, or I don't know, maybe like immediately when it closes, which I kind of did, I guess. But just a strange moment, and it's been kind of funny to gauge the Spurs fans' reactions because a lot of them have kind of called for his head over the years of being kind of the scapegoat of lack of investment or
Mm-hmm.
poor managerial choices and all that, which, like, I don't know how much he actually has a say in all that, but their reactions right now are like very cautious, I think I'd say. Like, they're all kind of, I think, maybe shocked and cautious. Like, they can't believe it actually happened, but then a lot of it now is like, well, it could be worse now, so let's hope not. But yeah, we'll see. I don't know. It's again, Tottenham is moving into their next phase, right?
Mm-hmm.
Of
Mm-hmm.
trying to be a competitive team that doesn't have to change their manager every 2 years.
Well, as far as the window that they had, definitely up there with Arsenal. I think
Mm,
Liverpool had the best, no bias. Arsenal, Chelsea, and Tottenham made, I think, fantastic moves.
mm,
United tried. City made a
try.
couple, and then after that, it just kind of falls off. Signings here and there.
Yeah.
Bournemouth selling off the lot and still being relevant.
Yeah.
I think that's going to be a big surprise. But everyone else, I thought, made some mediocre signings, filler signings. When I'm curious if teams are just thinking, okay, this Arsenal Liverpool saga is about to begin. Let's hang back a little bit, stabilize, and when we see them start to slip, we can capitalize on it. The problem I have with that is Liverpool just got younger. Arsenal
Mm,
isn't that old to begin with. Weren't they the second
yeah.
youngest Premier League team the last 2 or 3 seasons ago?
Yeah.
Um, and Tottenham, just said it. They don't have anyone over the age of 30. So,
Yeah.
interesting time to be a team sitting back when other teams are just straight going for it.
Yeah.
And
And I think it's hard too because as much as the Liverpool Arsenal rivalry, whatever you want to call it, is maybe about to reach its peak. I don't know, but these are also both teams that just spent like a
money,
good chunk of change. Like,
money.
whether it's reinforcing or kind of building towards the future or a kind of win now strategy. Like, money's on the table now, and unfortunately, I think if you sit and wait too much. Like, I don't think Arsenal and Liverpool are just all of a sudden next summer going to be like, we just overspent and that's that. Like, we got to cruise and chill now. Like, I
Oh,
think
who's
it's gonna.
next? Who
Yeah,
wants in?
exactly. Like, I think that's just kind of the state of, especially football in England, is it's a lot of money, and you as quiet as maybe City has been the past couple windows, like, they obviously are sitting on a lot and can splash it at any time, and not only just like transfer fee, but the wages they can pay
Mm-hmm.
compared to a lot of other teams
Right.
is enough to drag players there. So yeah, I think you got to pay to play almost now at the top end, and it'll be nice when, like, if Tottenham kind of can build this team and do it at a cheaper price than a lot of the other teams, but I think it's going to be hard to do and hard to keep up.
I'm excited. I'm so happy the
Oh yeah,
season is going.
yeah.
I want to talk about the game last week between Liverpool and Arsenal,
Mm.
and definitely a couple more if we're down to roast a couple teams if we really want to get into it. But let's get into the Arsenal Liverpool game. Where were you at the time of the game?
I was just at home, nothing too crazy. Had some breakfast in hand, but I felt pretty chill going into it, so I
Yeah.
didn't feel like
Okay.
I needed to be too high strung and overly, like, worried. But yeah, I felt pretty good going into
Okay.
it.
Okay. Look, can I give you a little breakdown of what my scenario was? Because
Yeah.
it was a lot. So met some of the groomsmen at the wedding. One guy, Trip, big Arsenal fan, said, "Hey, we're gonna go to the bar in the morning." Like, awesome, sounds good. Game's at 8:30, no problem. That Friday night, oh, no, I'm sorry, that was Saturday. Saturday night was big beach party. bartender margaritas, bartender margaritas, bartender margaritas. Felt great, awesome. We had a ton of fun. 8 o'clock rolls around, and I'm hurting, Chad. And he didn't text me. He texted me like 8:20. He's like, "Hey, the bar's open. We're good to go. By the way, it's an Arsenal bar." And I'm like, okay, so obviously I'm not gonna wear my Sabaslai kit to this, but I'm gonna go. I want to go. I want to see like what. I haven't been to an Arsenal bar before. I'm like, Kristen, I'm going. Kristen's literally getting her makeup done at 8 in the morning for the wedding at 4. So I was like, I'm gonna go watch the best team win, and of course she can't move. So I'm like, later. I get there right before the second half is ending. I had to make some moves, get stuff, going to start the day. And a lot of groans, Chad. A lot of groans in that place. I'm going to tell you, man, I heard a lot of complaints about Arsenal playing 3 number 6s in this game, and that their high schoolers can play better than them that day. And obviously, very exaggerated, but the frustration from the Arsenal fans was real. And I could see it. I could see it in that second half when the possession was just all Liverpool, and it seemed like that was this tactic that Arteta wanted to have, was let's give them the ball, lock it down on defense, and find an opportunity. Well, to me, Liverpool is not the team that's going to just give you opportunity after opportunity when you're sitting back and letting them create. I maybe counted 2 or 3 times when they intercepted the ball, looked for something, and there was nothing there. And I'm going to rant about this a little bit. I understand when you get a new signing, you want to substitute him on for the ovation of it. I don't know. It's like formality, right? To sub that player in. I thought that was so stupid. Why are you not starting Eze in this game? Let me hear it, because I didn't understand that.
Well, I think Arteta's idea is, Martinelli on the left, while not, hasn't really been on the best form, his defensive work on that side has been pretty key to stopping players in big games. And, I think Eze is capable of that, but I get it. Like, he hadn't had a lot of time to train with the team, so I think Arteta was playing it safer. Of like, Martinelli knows where he should be on defense, or out of possession or whatever, whereas Eze is like fresh, right? Maybe I think they said like 1 or 2 sessions with the team, so I think it's just didn't have enough time to maybe learn the ropes that Arteta wants his players to know. But that maybe could have been a benefit of just like Eze's a little bit free out there, So I don't know. I understand why everyone wanted him to start. I really didn't ever think he was going to start. I figured it would be Martinelli. But I do think he could have came on earlier.
This was just another classic moment of, when is Arteta going to make a sub? And I wanted to, tell Tripp, I was like, Arteta's going to bring these guys on in the 80th minute. It's going to be too late. And when Eze did come on, a little more bounce in their step, right? But it just felt like it was a little too late for me. And then I just thought the Mourinho getting into the midfield for this game was just an interesting choice. I understand Odegaard had it was a bum shoulder, right? That was the issue this time around.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
He did come on anyway at the 70th minute. So how, obviously he was fit.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you just don't know how fit really, right? Like, could he give you 30 minutes either way, and then you maybe start and he plays through, first half and gets subbed out? I don't know, but I think, I don't mind the midfield that was set up because it did allow a lot of control, but the game plan I think needed to be tweaked a little bit more, considering Szoboszlai, not a natural right back, had a phenomenal game, but going into this game you're not expecting that, right? So I expected Arsenal to just abuse that left side, and that's almost Martinelli's bread and butter right there, of being able to run in behind a guy who's, yes, quick, but, not a trained defensive player, so you can maybe get one over on him. And, there's one, maybe two moments, but then it just kind of fizzled out, either because Martinelli didn't make the pass, or, Szoboszlai got back and got the ball, or it's like the midfield didn't bother me. It was just that we didn't try to attack that left-hand side enough.
I mean, Szoboszlai's work rate was insane this game. There's no the amount he ran was absurd. His defending was amazing. At this point in the season, if you're Slot, you're saying to him, you're going to play right back until something needs to change, right?
Yeah.
Why fix what's not broken here? If he keeps this up, he could. I mean, it's a crazy thing that we have a center forward, central mid player playing in the right back and playing it in a way that makes us forget about what Trent did. I know that's like, it's hard to say, but when he booted that ball to Wirtz, and it was like very Trent-esque, but also played just incredible defense. I don't know if he got beat this game. I don't know if anyone made it by him.
I think Eze dribbled past that one time.
Oh, right on the touchline. Yep. And that was a great move by Eze too.
Yeah.
Which almost in hindsight, you're like, well, I wish I could have saw more of that, right? But and then of course, the free kick happens. I get asked, I'm gonna call it. I get asked who's taking it. I say Szoboszlai, and what do you know, man? I'm under the table, just like fist pumping so hard in there. Dude, I wanted to. I stayed quiet. There was a lot of anger going through that place. Incredible free kick. Raya had a touch on it. I was just surprised that Raya was almost giving him the green light to go left, because he was shifted so far over in goal. Raya wanted him to shoot it that way.
Yeah.
Szoboszlai had to beat him. I was just more surprised that Raya was going to allow that pinpoint accuracy. I mean, again, incredible free kick. We can't take that away. Like, not many people can do that. I was just more surprised that Raya was willing to, I guess, dictate the situation.
It's kind of how he plays the free kicks. He seems to like open aside, but then like right before they kick, he'll make a little hop to that open side. And I forget where it was, but one of the other like Arsenal podcasts I listened to said that Szoboszlai did an interview after the game and had like mentioned that he, had watched Raya's free kick, defensive routines, and like notice he shows that side, but will then still try to defend that side. So basically, he knew if he was going to get this right, like it had to be as far, corner, post, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of like his strategy for the free kick, is like bait you to that side, but then cheats over at the last second to hopefully get it. Which, like, here, fair enough, he gets close, but this is just such a perfectly placed, perfect power free kick, like picture perfect. So you could choose any keeper. I don't think they're getting it, really.
Donnarumma, I think, is probably the only one.
Maybe
if he had the jump on it, right?
Yeah.
And it's too hard to say now. I do want to shout out Frederick here for this insane stat. I don't know how you find this, but Szoboszlai is the first player this season to score a free kick where the distance in yards from goal matches the Scrabble score of his surname, 30.
What an absurd stat, but like so great.
I don't know how you find that out. Yeah,
I think he like mathed out the Scrabble score like years ago, and he was just waiting. So one day this is gonna come up.
It'd probably be pretty easy to do, to put every player's last name through a Scrabble, a Scrabble generator, and see how many points. So, is this very specific? Yes. Was he sitting on this? Probably. He probably knew Szoboszlai was 30 points. He's probably tried to, you know what it is? He's probably tried to play this word in Scrabble and knew exactly how many points it's worth.
Yeah, that's probably it. I mean, that's just the perfect trivia question. You know,
It's so good. I love it. That was a very fun stat. Thank you, Atlee, for posting that, because I was driving home and Kristen read that off, and I was like, "That's hilarious. That is a fantastic tidbit." Chad, I know both our teams weren't going for it here all the way, 100% the entire game. We weren't both fit 100%. I think this is such a different matchup if we're throwing out our best 11 and your best 11. I wish this game was in November, December.
Had to be later. Yeah.
You know,
I think even if it was 2 full strength 11s, I think it probably would have played out similarly to this, because it's just like so early in the season. I don't think either team really wants to give up too much yet. So yeah, I think it just needed to be like at earliest like a month later. But yeah, I think that November, December timeframe would have been perfect for this game, to really see what each team has, because right now, like, any like uneasiness I come away this game with is not related to feeling like Liverpool outplayed Arsenal, or Arsenal, was so off the pace or anything. I think this was just both teams playing pretty conservatively, and it took an incredible moment to win, and I think that could have went either way, right? Like, so I mean, yeah, most of my uneasiness is just like, I get it's early, but Gyökeres is trying to make these runs, and they're just not finding him. It reminds me of when Holland first got to City, and he was making these runs, and they were not finding him. But that ended up working out. So, like, still hopeful that people start to look for his runs and find him, and get him more incorporated into the attack.
I think Saka's going to take so much gravity away from him too.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. I think not having him in this game made it easier for Liverpool to defend. No disrespect to Madueke and Martinelli, but very different players from what Saka and how Saka has played against Liverpool in the past. So, again, hard game to judge, right? It's it's unfortunate. Our next matchup is in January, so
I know.
I guarantee we will be going for this title, I think, fairly closely, barring injury. But yeah, again, it was. It felt weird having this like huge game so early, but knowing both teams weren't going to play all their cards here and really go for it. So it worked out for us, but it really could have been easily the other way around, and we'd be saying the same thing. And not much would be different. Hell of a free kick. That's kind of like. What the note of the game.
The way I've looked at it is, Arsenal had that same magical free kick moment with Declan Rice versus Madrid in Champions League last season. And it was just one of those games where one player's just like so on it and just a level above everyone else. And, the key moment falls to him, and of course it goes in. And of course it's this magical free kick, magical moment. It couldn't have been anything less. So it's as a opposing fan, it's just one of those moments where you're like, you gotta take it as it is. You gotta give it the flowers and clap for it, because while I would have loved to come away with any sort of points here, obviously, but at the end of the day, we're all footy fans. You see a free kick like that, whether it's against your team or not, and you're like, whew.
Hot.
Yeah.
It was hot. Or that knee slide. Oh, I watched every angle of that knee slide, Chad. Beautiful. It was beautiful.
That's one where, I don't know if you've seen the Geico commercial where it's like the knee slide that never ends.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I needed here, though.
It could have happened. All right, let's get into the let's go. What are we looking forward to this season, with a slice of who's hot, who could be hot, and who's not. So I'm going to start here with what I want to see. Is I want to see what I'm looking forward to is I truly believe the newly promoted teams are going to be dogs in this fight this season. After seeing these first 3 weeks, I think there's a strong chance none of them get relegated because there are teams mid-table right now who didn't give a flying when the season ended last year and the transfer window opened. Moves weren't made, deals weren't done, coaching looked I don't want to say awkward, but just the same. It was the same as last year. No fight in these first 3 weeks for, I'm going to shout out West Ham. I'm going to shout out the Wolves. I'm gonna dig into a little bit of Villa. I believe they can make a little comeback here, but terrible start for them. And then Brentford, arguably losing their two best goal scorers, 40 goals between Wisa and Bumo last year. What are they going to do there? And their coach. The coach, at the point last year, the second longest tenured coach in the Premier League under Pep. I'm worried for those teams. But then we got the Burnleys, the Leeds, and the Sunderlands, who aren't in the relegation zone right now. Small sample size, but they're playing. They're playing hard. They're giving teams trouble, and they all have a win under their belt.
Yeah, and they all actually spent money in the transfer window.
They spent money.
I feel like, we've seen, especially in recent seasons, these teams come up and think that their championship side plus one or two players is enough to get by, and clearly it's not. The level is just a step above, so you have to kind of adapt to that, and unfortunately at this point it means spending a lot of money. But
oh, sorry, we're jumping. We got so much to say right now. It's firing me up. These teams have been here before within the last couple years. Sunderland, it's been a little bit, but Leeds came up, went down fast. Same thing for Burnley. It was only 2 years ago when they were last here. So I want to believe they learned from their mistakes. And if they can apply them against the teams they should be beating, the ones that are letting things slip, like the Wolves, like Villa, like Fulham, I believe they will make it and be in the Premier League next year. That is what I'm looking forward to watching. I'm so sick of these teams getting promoted and us at the beginning of the year being like, they're going right back down. We can see it. And these three teams, way different from what we saw last year.
Yeah, I agree.
All right. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Oh, wow. I'm going to say I'm looking forward to Everton's season, honestly.
Please. Okay.
Because they've been, kind of down in the dumps. I think got a little bit revitalized with the new stadium. But then also the Grealish pickup is, I think, going to be an incredible choice.
Dude.
Even beyond that, Tyler Dibbling came from Southampton. He's 19, but he looks like he can play. Even from last season, I had an eye on him of maybe fantasy or maybe a Arsenal bet of just you're 19, let's see what happens. But I think he's a great pickup. Drewsbury Hall has been fine in the years that we've seen him, but I think it's just more experience there. I think you're kind of, I think defense has never been too much of the issue for Everton. You're pretty locked down with Tarkowski, Keane still there, still kicking it, Branthwaite when he's healthy, Pickford in goal, obviously, these key players back there that are still crushing it.
They're so consistent in that back line. There's no turnover. So I imagine their chemistry is just, we know where you're going to be with my eyes closed. That's what I see out of Everton's back line.
Yeah. So I think a lot of their signings were smart. From the outside looking in, I think I don't think they're going to light up the table or anything, but I think they will have a much better season than they've had in the past handful here. Not squarely on Grealish's shoulders, but I think he's going to be, I think for the times we've seen him play at City where he was just, a cog in the machine, I think he's going to feel so free that he's just going to really enjoy playing again. And I think it's going to be that Grealish that City spent $100 million on from Villa, because it's probably a similar role there where he was just able to play, right? So
hey, Jack is free, Chad.
Jack is free.
He's the number one player on my hot list. Came right out, 4 assists to start the season. I think he had to be reminded that he could drive forward and go at people. And then once that all clicked, just rejuvenated, right? You can almost see like a new joy in him. So yeah, fantastic take. I originally, when I had Everton at the start of the season, I said relegation possibility. Jack Grealish came in, and now I'm like, potential. I don't know. I don't have him too far up on my table, but I do see at least an exciting team, and a team if Jack is healthy and Beto can at least be a presence in the box. Interesting team. I think it's interesting. Yeah, good take. Sure. I like that one. Who's not?
Who's not?
I'm sure there's a couple, right? There's a couple we could do. I think we're both probably thinking of the big one. Can we just go like Man United front three and what are we gonna do there? And midfield and defense and goalkeeper?
That team is just. They seem stuck in this endless loop of just like, what are we going to do? I don't know. Sign all these players? Cool. What are we going to do? I don't know. Just like keep looping. And, the Sesko pickup, I think, could be great, but I fear for him it's going to be the same as Højlund there, where it's just not a like conducive environment for a younger player to like really kind of find his feet in the Premier League and reach his potential. And Bumo, I think, will be okay. Cunha, I think, will be okay. Like that front three, I think, will be fine. But I think it's just that like it's fine on paper, but when you watch them play tactically, like it's that's where the real questions come in, and unfortunately that's all on Amorim, who seems to play his one style, and that's that.
It's funny to me when you have players like McTominay, Rashford, Antony, which again, not the biggest fans of the way they play, but leave the club and find success at multiple levels, right? Rashford just being an energizer for Villa, and now on Barcelona, which is just who would have thought Rashford would be on Barcelona and at least be starting over there and playing consistently. Antony, who is probably never ever coming back to England again. And then you have McTominay winning Serie A Player of the Year.
He's loving it, yeah.
Ballon d'Or like nomination, like could win it. It just goes to show that I think the problem is internal. Mm-hmm. You have incredible goal scorers now. You have a front three who should be dominating, who had dominated. Cunha dominated on the Wolves last year, their best player. And Mbeumo, Brentford's best player. I don't know much about Sesko yet. I'm really curious to see how he can help. But man, when you have players like the quality of Bruno, and he's just, I don't think he's the right leader for this team. Mm-hmm. I think incredible player, but this team needs someone who's not going to be the whiner, not going to be throwing his hands up at everything. I do think the coach has some responsibility in that, but it's the same Bruno every year. I mean, I think he might win the most hated player this season from the fans just because they're so annoyed by him at this rate.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Man United, they're pretty much on my not list.
For sure.
And I can blame everyone on this team right now. Kobe Mainu is like, get me out of here, and I don't think they're going to let him. And I don't have them being as bad as last year, but it would not shock me if they are outside the top 10 again.
Yeah. I also don't have them super low, but It's kind of banking on Amorim not being there much longer.
I agree with that. I think they have the quality to score goals and at least not be total shit.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's like the baseline. I will not be shocked if they become terrible.
Yeah, they're walking a fine line, I think, because
Super, dude, it's thin.
like it just it's a little bit hard to judge because Amorim only wants to play this whatever 3-5-3. I don't know what he plays, something crazy like that. But like he's so headstrong on that, and he has a handful of signings that he's presumably brought in to play these roles. And in the summer it looked like it was finally working, it was finally clicking, but this is also just preseason where everyone's just kind of gaining fitness, getting up to speed, and maybe trying different things, whatever. Then once competition kicks in, it kind of just picked up off of last season, and
That's
it's
so
the
true.
struggle bus. So there's a handful of quality players in there. I just don't know. I don't know who you can go to like meld this together and bring out that quality at this point. Like it's certainly not Amorim, but I don't know who you look to now. You've kind of gone through the list of big name managers. Even Amorim being a more kind of like up and coming manager. There's the I'll call it a meme of the repeat for Ten Hag. Like,
come on back.
I don't think they would do it, but
boy, we missed you.
You never know. He's available now, so yeah, I think it'll be more of the same really for them. And well, I think they can be better, but it will be more of the same the longer they keep Amorim around. So,
do you know who their top goal scorer is? Small sample size, but this will say a lot about their season.
No.
OG.
We should have signed him. That
yep.
OG.
Yep. Manchester United has 1 goal from open play from Mbeumo, 2 own goals, and then Bruno's PK spot. So 1 goal from open play that they are creating and making it happen. It's fantasy-wise, and Mbeumo, man, you're on the hot block too. I'm ready to move on and find something else. This is I believed in this team, not entirely to make Europe, but at least be competitive. And this is like, this ain't it. This ain't it. So the City game coming up when we get back will be must watch. And I have no hope for United to win this game.
No. I don't think so. I mean, the City is on a 2-game losing streak. So I guess if you're United, this might be one of the better times to play them, and coming out of international break. So I don't think they're going to do it, but I don't think it'll be a slaughtering. I don't think City's at that level this season, at least not yet. But yeah, I think it's if Amorim isn't gone now, you'd think after that game, because I mean, even following up that game is, Chelsea, and they're up in the top 4 right now, right? So you can't be losing too many points up there if you're trying to get up there.
Yep.
I don't know. I think the clock is ticking for him, I would think. I don't know. I still just don't know what they really saw in him throughout last season to like keep him for this season. Like, you can argue he didn't have all the signings he might have wanted for positions, but I don't know that I saw enough of what he could do with the existing players to warrant any further investment, right?
You still have Casemiro, man. He's still on the team. There's a problem with that.
Still forcing him out there while it's warm weather, and then
Well, he's got about like 1 month.
yeah.
Got like 3 more games at the most. All right, you want to get into our table building?
Yeah, I think so.
So I'm kind of thinking, to make it somewhat suspenseful, maybe we go 11 down to 20, and then we go 10 up to 1.
Oh, okay.
Right? Yeah. And we go maybe 4 at a time.
Sure.
4 at a time, then we get to our relegation, and we'll go from there. So I'll start. I think it's a pretty expected mid-table. By the way, everyone who's listening, get your pens and papers out too. Do this with us. We're starting at 10 and going down. Screenshot it. Save it. We'll go back mid-season, see where we're missing, and then we'll get back to it at the end of the season. But I'm going to start at number 10. I have Man United at number 10. And that is being very fair. I'm being very fair. I expect Amorim, just like we said, to be gone, and this team to have a somewhat of a bounce back, but I still think there's too many missing pieces for this team to be competitive. From there, I'm just going to rapid fire Brighton, Everton, Fulham. I think they're all kind of the same to me this year.
Yeah.
Outside of Everton, you know, the Brightons and Fulhams didn't make any signings that really wowed me. I think Grealish can breathe life into Everton, but we have to remember Grealish is like glass. I don't think he's going to make it through this whole season, and that's where the slip is going to happen. Sure. Again, better than last year, better than previous years, but I think they'll be fun to watch. If Grealish, though, is the one that you're trying to ride and make it into Europe, that's not it. Not yet. Sure. Yeah. You need more, but at least it's a good start. All right.
Okay.
That's my 4.
Well, at 10, I got Everton. A little bit, the same argument. But I think, I don't know, I think there's just like a rejuvenation amongst that club and the fan base with new stadium and everything. If Grealish goes out, it's going to be a big miss. But I think they're really going to dig in on some of these games and just like we've seen them do, defend for their lives the whole game and then like grab a goal at the last few minutes. Mm-hmm. So I think 10 feels good. Nothing crazy amazing, but certainly not as down in the dumps as they have been in recent years, assuming they don't get any like more points docked from them for
I think we're done.
Whatever. Yeah.
I think we're done.
Yeah. I got United at 11.
Hey, we're pretty close. Pretty close.
Yeah, it's it's better than last season, right? So there you go.
They have better players. We'll see about the team. Yeah.
Yeah. Then 12, it's got to be Palace.
I knew it. I knew you were going to do that.
As much as I want them to improve, they lost some key players. Hang on to Munoz, though, which I thought was surprising. I thought he would go somewhere. But at 12 it feels right. And now there's a song about it. I mean, come on. You can't not be 12th now.
I think vibes were great at the start of this season, and now to me vibes are like,
a little shaky. Yeah.
What's next? Yep.
Yeah. And yeah, this could, very well tank if and when Guehi goes in the winter window. So, yeah. 13th, I got Villa. I think it just feels like Emery's influence on this team is kind of waning. He's lost a bit of that spark. You don't have Duran to come in and bang in a winning goal from 30 yards out anymore. Ollie Watkins is maybe good, maybe not. You never know. They didn't really bring in a lot of players or any real notable players. So I think they're going to kind of, not have a terrible season, but just not be up there where they have been. Like, you still got Emi Martinez technically, but it sounds like he's not going to play. And the keeper you bought in was a $3 million buy from a team I've never heard of. So, not to say he's not good, but they just have made some interesting choices in the transfer market for me to think you're going to have a little bit of a rough season, but not dive down too much. I will apologize for putting you beneath United, though. That feels messed up now that I say it. So,
well, who's Villa's top goal scorer right now?
Oh Jesus, I don't know.
Just take a stab.
Can I look?
Yeah, go ahead. Go to the score lines.
You're talking goals or red cards?
Well,
yeah. So see, you got no goal scorer at the moment. So again, Ollie Watkins, is he good? Is he bad? He'll have a good game. He'll have 3 bad games. Whatever. Then 14th, I got Fulham. A little bit the same. Just we're a little bit flat last season, and I don't think really did anything to improve. I just don't expect too much from them, honestly.
Fair. I went 10 through 13. I got to say my 14. I'll go. So on this next one, I'm gonna go 14 to 17. That works out fine.
Sure.
I'm going Sunderland at 14. I'm a believer.
I like it. I
like the energy they play with. I think the game against Burnley was an anomaly. Burnley got a goal pretty late in that game that kind of sealed it. But for when Sunderland was possessing the ball, they had opportunities. I think Xhaka in that game played terribly. I did watch it, and I just thought he was forcing so many balls. And I would love to see the stat line of how many passes he made versus how many passes he completed, because it was probably not too great in his favor. I might be able to look at it right now. But I like what they're doing. I thought they made the motivation that they have coming into this season was high. And like I said before, the teams that got promoted just have this different drive. Sunderland's been here before. It's been a while, but I want to believe they're here to stay. It's not a young team that was just put together and then players bought randomly. It seemed like there was some coordination here. Senior players wanted to come into this team and keep them relevant. So that's why I'm having them at 14th. I'm just going to go right into Leeds. Same kind of thing. They've been here before. I think with Jesse Marsh in the past, it was such a young, inexperienced team that was driven by Americanism. I know that's a crazy thing to say, but it felt like it was so forced. It was we got American boys out there. Let's give them some TV time. And
it's definitely like a additional spotlight on that team.
Yes.
That they did not need.
Didn't need for any reason. And it ended up not working out. And I think this team dominating the championship last year can come in and at least hold their own, which we've already kind of seen that done. Getting 3 points on the season, even with City, small sample size, but they're here. 16th, I have Crystal Palace. They are I'm so disappointed in this team, Chad.
Yeah.
Every year they give up their best player. I don't know who it's going to be this year, but Elise 2 years ago, Eze this year. If they would have kept Eze this year, I would have put him much higher on this board. It's a reason why I subbed out Mateta, because gravity, right? Yeah. Eze allowed Mateta to be Mateta, and I hope players like Munoz and even their defenders who are coming out, even Chris Richards, our American boy, I fear for them because of the success they had last season, especially at the end, is going to be withered away fairly quickly this season. And where are they right now? They have 2 draws and a win. Again, it's a good start. I think the draw against Chelsea was tough, but Eze kind of had the game winner there. Take him out of the picture, it's different. And then Villa, just slow start for them, but yeah, Palace I'm kind of bummed about. And then at 17th I have Burnley. I think they're just going to sneak by. I think there will be a race for the bottom 4 and they're going to be in it, but I do think there are 3 teams worse than them without drive. and I will save those for the end when.
Yeah.
Oh, why don't we do this? Why don't you give the next couple teams you have? We save our relegation teams after we do, 10 through 5. We'll come back to them.
Sure. Okay. Yeah, 15th I got Sunderland. I mean, yeah, they've looked great in their opening 3 games. They've, invested a lot, and I think pretty smartly in some of these players. But I also think, like, I don't know if you watched the Sunderland Till I Die docuseries, but like the toll it took on that team and that city to like be out of Premier League for so long, I think is a little bit of that Everton rejuvenation of just like everyone's gonna be so behind this team and pushing them in every single match, just based on the excitement of being back up here, but then the opportunity to stay up here, and I mean to open your Premier League window again with one little one-off maybe bad game in there, but overall I think some pretty good performances. Like that's just got to be so motivating and encouraging for the fans and the club. So again, not gonna light it up, but I think they'll be okay. Like I think they'll be stable there at 15th. It won't be a few point like oh, will they, won't they kind of thing. 16, I got West Ham. I
know. I got a shoulder right here.
They can get better if Potter goes, but I think they're probably going to ride with him for a while. You lost Kudus, but you didn't even really know how to use him. Bowen's still there. He's still trying his darndest to get this team across the line, and it finally kind of did something. But I think overall they look a little flat and a little bit directionless. I think.
I fear for them.
Yeah, I don't think they'll go down, and I think they'll be like just enough out to be. I don't want to say comfortable, but like, not as worried as some other teams. But like, I think it's gonna be a really rough season for them. And then 17th, I got Leeds. I think in my head, probably some of the holdover of the Jesse Marsh era Leeds, where it was like a lot of promise that didn't pay off. But yeah, I think they're capable of being in Premier League, especially coming off a great championship season, and just being here a few years ago. So like, you don't want to repeat your same mistakes. And there's just some other teams that I think are worse. So yeah, I think they'll be okay, I think.
All right. We're pretty close. So far. I think I could switch a team or two around too and feel okay about it, but
yeah.
All right. Why don't you get us started? I already did my number 10. Why don't we go 10 through 7?
Well, I did my 10. My 10 was Everton.
Oh, fantastic. Let's go then. We'll go 9 through 6.
All right. 9, I got Forest.
Oh, me too. We'll just bang it right out of the way. Forest for me too. Yep.
Yeah. Maybe a little bit of the same West Ham argument, a little bit directionless here. I think, the added European games will maybe throw a wrench into things. I don't know. I mean, if Chris Wood has another season like last, then, they could very well go higher. But I think they're just kind of falling a little bit flat now, like especially with all the drama between Nuno and the owner, and you don't want all the extra noise, especially not this early in season. So 9th feels fine to me.
I'm just going to jump off that Nuno point. Mm-hmm. If he gets let go, don't color to be shocked if Mourinho comes in there with European success, similar ideologies to Nuno, and Nuno ends up going to Man United. That's kind of what I would
I can see that.
See coming if there is frustration, and I think both teams would benefit from that move, honestly. Mourinho just seems like such a Forest character, and I think big personalities, their owner, would just mesh perfectly with what Mourinho would want and probably get what he needs. With all these managers getting sacked kind of across Europe right now too, I know you got to imagine some of these Premier League teams who are not onto the greatest of starts are making calls.
Well, yeah, I think there's too much money in Premier League to, gamble with your season too much, right? So,
yep.
You see a Mourinho come onto the market, that's going to turn some eyes, I think, and maybe he's not exactly the style you like to see your team play, but he could very well keep you in the Premier League, which at the end of the day is your goal. So, but yeah, I kind of like that move of him to Forest and Nuno to United. I feel like that would be like you said, beneficial to all there. It's Nuno, I think, has found a way to play a little bit more offensive, I guess, than Mourinho would tend to, which should help United because Nuno also is kind of like has that Mourinho in him, right? Of being able to hold the line and defend pretty well. And then, the European experience from Mourinho to bring into Forest, I think will be something. I mean, European experience alone, regardless of team, is something any seeking team will be looking at. So, I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. That would be a good move for everyone.
Make it happen.
Make it happen. Okay, at 8, I got. Oh, do I want to swap this? At 8, I think I'm gonna do Newcastle. Yeah. Yeah. They had a rough window. Even beyond losing, their star striker, some of their other attempts to sign players just fell flat. You brought in Wisa, Longa, Woltmade? I don't know.
Woltmade. Yeah, Woltmade. I think it's pretty simple. Woltmade.
Okay, nice. Yeah, it's German. It's probably simple. So yeah, I think you ended up bringing in some decent players. But I think the key part here is Eddie Howe, I think, is a better manager with this kind of like mid to like upper mid table squad rather than a top table squad. It just, and that might just be from my years of seeing him at Bournemouth and getting them by and all that. But I think he'll be able to manage some wins here, but they'll definitely take some losses along the way. And I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be as exciting and as just like full speed as they have been in past seasons.
I like that take. I think they're almost as mid-table as we're going to see with them. I think they have a lot of fight in them, as we saw them with that comeback against Liverpool. It's, maybe Isak for them was such a distraction these first 3 weeks too, where now it's a release, it's gone, it's in the past, we can focus on us now. I think you're right. It's like when they can get, I believe Howe can get them to Europe, but then once they're there, it's like, what's that next step? They haven't figured that out yet. And then they drop back down. I think they can just kind of, it wouldn't shock me if they even make top 5 this year. But then again, what do they do next? So I think 8, you have them at 8?
Yes.
Yeah, and I got them at 7. So we're pretty spot on there.
Okay. 7 for me, I got Brighton.
I'm surprised by that.
Yeah, me too.
Tell me more. Where's the hope?
The hope is a little bit of like, kind of banking on Brighton's recruitment. They always seem to find some unheard name that just kind of comes in and does a good job. And they still got same coach from last season who I think will have learned, Premier League, you can't be as like free willy-nilly with your positioning as you maybe were able to do in, I think it's like second Bundesliga, when they brought him over, or when they brought him over. So yeah, I think he will have a better understanding of like how he can put his team out. You lost João Pedro. I think that's going to be a big miss. And I mean, honestly, you lost a good chunk of good players, right? João Pedro, Estupiñán,
Mm-hmm.
Lamptey when he was
It's okay.
fit. He contributed well. I don't know. I guess maybe those are the three big ones, but like,
Gross too. He's gone.
oh yeah, that's right.
And who's our favorite? He's probably still hurt. I'm gonna check the injury report right now.
Oh, Solly March.
Yeah, Sully.
Yeah, I think he's probably coming back hopefully soon. So yeah, I don't know. I really don't have a good thing to base it on, but just I trust their recruitment to like do the right thing and fill the holes as needed, and often those end up being just like quality players, like your Matomas and oh my god, what's his name?
Position. You're blanking on Seagulls.
Defensive mid. He almost went to Liverpool, but went to Chelsea.
Caicedo? This is in the past.
Caicedo.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah. So like they find these players, right, that kind of do a really good job and fill that role well, and
yeah,
So yeah, I guess I'm kind of banking on the recruitment to get him up there.
Well, they just beat City, and Pep didn't shake coach's hand, so
yeah. What? I think Pep's just in his like early almost retirement, like villain era now. It's like, I don't give a shit anymore. Just pay me and let me leave.
Oh no. Jeez. All right, that's your number 7. Give me your number 6.
6. My guy Semenyo is gonna take Bournemouth to the top.
Crazy, dude. Crazy. If we would have done this prediction table before the season started, I wouldn't have had Bournemouth this high, considering their losses in terms of players. But
yeah,
pleasantly surprised what they're doing right now.
Yeah, I think if this was pre any game, I probably would have put them much lower because you lost your entire back line basically. But surprisingly, still playing very well. Even in that opening match against Liverpool, I think played well. Just it was maybe a little too early for the whole new back line to to know what to do with each other. But I think they're gonna have a good season. I like their coach. They feel like they have good energy, and they want to go out there and kind of bully these teams that should be better than them. Mm-hmm. And I think they'll do that quite a few times this season.
I believe it. Well, the only difference here, Chad, between my 9 through 6 and yours is I do have Aston Villa making somewhat of a comeback and getting around 8th. I think they need to figure some stuff out. God, we make fun of Ollie Watkins so much. We got to remember the guy scores at least 10 goals every season. I think this is season 5 or 6 he's about to be on. We'll have to double check that one. And only a couple players have kept that streak going. It was Son, it was Salah, and then it was Watkins. So I tough decisions to make over there right now of what they're going to do with Emmy. Their squad really hasn't changed too much, though, from last year to this year. So, they got to figure a couple things out. Most of that falls, I think, with their center mids and how they're going to distribute the ball to their forwards. Matty Cash has come out pretty strong. I just think more chances need to happen. But, yeah, they don't have a goal scorer yet. That's 3 games in, that's a problem, and that needs to be fixed pronto, or else there's no way they're finishing 8th. Where did you have them? 13th?
I had them, 13th.
I think if we put our pile together here and we average that and had them at 10th or 11th, I think we would both feel good about that. Yeah. But 8th is a slight reach, but not impossible. They need to get this figured out like next game though. They got Everton. They got Everton next, which I think that's going to be tough for them. And then Sunderland, Fulham, Burnley. I think those are all games that they're capable of winning. But again, from what they've shown us so far, very capable of losing too. So I'm just hoping this is a slow start and they figure it out. All right, we got top 5 and relegation zone now. Mm. Which one do you want to do first?
I think let's go back down to relegation.
Beautiful. I'm going to rip on West Ham right now. Most disappointing team who has come off of a European trophy 3 years ago with Declan Rice and company to making absolutely no signings this year of relevance, making a couple signings last season where we thought, okay, Fulkrug, Somerville, Wan-Bissaka, quality players who can come in here right away and help. And they didn't play. They didn't play for a majority of the season outside of Wan-Bissaka, who's arguably one of their best players last year. This team is so frustrating because on paper, you're like, they should be good. They should be good. And it's...
I mean, Jared Bowen somehow ends up at the top of our fantasy league every single season. So there is a good team in there somewhere, or at least some good players, but...
Bowen's getting wasted away at West Ham.
Sure.
It's a bummer to see. He was my Salah replacement if Salah left last year, and honestly, I think he would have fit in great with Liverpool. But it's a team that just, has just no direction. And the fact that they were able to get a win out of Forest last week was shocking. Yeah. I don't know what this team does. If Paqueta goes, I'm saying injury. I'm not going anywhere, but injury, that's just inevitable. I think he did tweak something in the second game. So just expect him to be injured soon. What happens then? He has your 2 goals on this season. And Callum was, 3 of the 4 goals came from last game, and Forrest just kind of laid an egg. But I'm ready for this team to get relegated because it's just so hard to watch, considering where they were a couple years ago and what I thought the quality that they were trying to produce just never happened. And I don't know where to point the finger. I'm just very disappointed.
That's fair.
And I feel bummed for West Ham fans.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah, you were at the, one of the highest of highs and just been like
tanking
down lower and lower ever since.
It's been rough. So I feel for you. I really do. My next one I have is Brentford. Similar points to that I gave earlier in the podcast, just where their goal is going to come from. You're basically taking 40 goals away from your club that you had last year. Maybe an anomaly because it was just an insane year for both Wisa and Bumo, but where are those goals going to come from now to keep you out of the relegation zone? Hard to say. And then last and definitely least, it is the Wolves. I think the Wolves, it's time. Last year I think made the excellent call that they had a very tough beginning of the season, and wins will come elsewhere. However, this was a better team last year. They got worse. They lost their best players, and I think this is going to be an endless struggle. People thought when they'd come play City that first game that they'd bring it to them, because the Wolves are capable of it, and to just get absolutely rocked that first game of the year, it just set the tone for what we're going to see. And they're sitting at the bottom of the table now. Where are these wins going to come from? I don't know. they're giving up a lot of goals. This is gonna be tough for them.
Yeah. Yeah. My bottom three's pretty similar. I got Brentford. Same argument. You lost some not only key players, but the coach that knew the system, how to keep you in this league, and I believe they're still just like an interim coach. I don't know that they ever brought in someone, or they officially gave it to. I think the guy that was watching it was just like
Keith
the
Andrews,
second in command or something. Yeah. So maybe they're banking on he picked up a lot of Thomas Frank's tactics and are trying to roll with that, but yeah, I don't think it's going to be enough. You lost some just vital players out there to score the goals that you need to get you the points, obviously. So yeah, I think their time's probably come. Then I got Burnley, which I don't know. I know they had I think the best defensive record in the championship last year. But I don't know and I haven't watched much of their 3 games this season, but it just nothing really jumped out too much at me that they were, that they were more eager than some of the other teams to be here. But we'll see. If there's a bad West Ham team sitting a couple points above you, maybe that's the motivation to just like push on and grab some points from where you shouldn't have, and jump the table a little bit. So I think of the bottom, and my last one is Wolves, but like of that bottom 3, I think Burnley is the most likely to escape that. And yeah, probably like a West Ham or someone fall into that. But yeah, and Wolves, same thing. I think last season's observation of their hard start to the season was a great pickup and a great call out. I think we kind of gave them benefit of the doubt that they would get better, and they just kind of didn't. And then now you've lost again key players. So yeah, I think time has come for you. Go down, rebuild, maybe come back.
See you later. Just to add on to your Burnley stat there, 46 games played in the championship, 16 goals allowed. That was the best.
Yeah.
Best record. So, next one was Leeds with 30. However, Burnley only scored 69 goals to Leeds' 95.
Whew.
So yeah, Leeds cooked last year, but they were even on points, both with 100 points. So yeah, it is crazy. All right, let's jump to top 5. I'm gonna go. We'll go back and forth here.
Sure.
Man City at number 5. I think.
Oh, man, I was flip-flopping between them and Tottenham.
I was too. I just feel like Man City just doesn't. Rodri's a little different this year. I know we didn't really have KDB last year. New signings coming in. Signing Trafford and then kind of giving him the boot to Donnarumma is kind of weird.
Poor guy.
I'm curious what Pep is going to do with Donnarumma, because he doesn't like keepers who can't play with their feet. That's why he basically kicked Joe Hart off this team. And now you're bringing in like a roided up Joe Hart, no doubt about it. But I thought the Trafford signing was interesting, and I also want to say I thought West Ham's signing of Hermanson was interesting too. 2 ends of the table, 2 young keepers, very different ideas. I think honestly you could switch them and they're going to be in the exact same scenario. So the Trafford one was just, I get why you signed him. I didn't think he was going to be. I don't think he thought another keeper was going to be fighting for his place now. However. In City's first couple of games with Trafford, he looked terrible. He looked really bad, like not ready for this at all. And that's how Tottenham was able to kind of pounce and win that game. So it'll be interesting to see what Donnarumma has. I get why you got him. Every team wants a Donnarumma.
Sure, yeah.
But I think he just pissed off Trafford. And I think
absolutely.
So what does your future look like? I don't think Pep cares.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say. I don't think Pep cares too much at this point, because I think all the signings maybe from like last year on are just a plan for a future without Pep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Donnarumma came onto the market. I think you jump on that because of the quality that he brings, right? I don't think, yeah, that was the intention to bring Trafford in and then have another keeper signing, but
Right.
you know, it's just one of those opportunities you have to take. But then, yeah, there are other guys they brought in are young, exciting, maybe not exactly a Pep kind of style that they brought in, but again, young. So I think you're setting up whoever succeeds Pep um, to at least have a young team and still Holland. So you should be able to do something with that.
You should. You should.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm sorry.
I mean,
Was that your number 5?
it wasn't, only because I think the threat of City not being in Champions League is gonna be enough for like Pep to really crack the whip and
Mm.
find a way in. So I
Okay.
have them at 4th. I got Tottenham at 5th. Um, I think Tottenham will be a good team this season. I think it's just going to be it'll really come down to the injuries for them. It hampered them last season, and I don't think, while they maybe have the numbers in depth, I don't think they really have the strength and depth to, maintain a higher competitive level. So yeah, I mean, but like I said, I was flip flopping between these two, so it could go either way. I think Tottenham certainly looks the more exciting team, the one with more ambition, I think, too, at this point. So it could go either way, but I think City being out of Champions League spots just doesn't feel right at the end of the day to me. So I think they'll probably squeak in there.
I agree. I have Tottenham at 4, and I think a lot of that is just going to be self motivation. Tottenham in the number 4 spot, they're stoked. City at
Oh,
the
for
number
sure.
City at the number 4 spot, they're not happy.
Yeah.
So City could have that just crazy run and win a ton of games too. I think a lot of it just comes down to injury. I think if you put both these teams next to each other on paper, I think City has an edge.
Mm-hmm.
But I think the fact that Tottenham has a brand new coach, new system, new motivator, while City is doing their City thing again, I think that's where the kind of the difference is, and it's not by much. And again, it's on paper too, right? So I think some of the names stack up nicely against each other, and others don't. Obviously, you're going to take Holland over Solanke any day of the week, but there's a lot of nice complementary pieces past the number 9 spot. So I like that take. All right, Chad, 3 left, and I'm assuming I know who your number 3 is. I'm gonna start it. I don't think we're gonna make fun of Chelsea as much this year as we have in the past.
No, I think they're a little bit out of the woods now.
Now we had a great time. It was fun.
Yeah,
A lot
we
of
laughed,
a lot of
we
content.
cried. Yeah, I mean, I think, well, I still don't fully. I think I maybe am more understanding their transfer strategy now, but I don't really agree with it. I think on a more like moral aspect than anything, but I think they have finally, like, I mean, they still have a giant squad, but like
They're like
have
bottlenecking into players.
yeah, right. Like they finally had a few like shoot out of that bottleneck, and like finally a starting 11.
Oh, the
So
11 had to get through the neck, and those 11 are your first pour, and now the pour
that's
looks
exactly it.
good.
Yeah, exactly.
My fear is Cole Palmer. He
Yes,
hasn't scored an open goal since January of 25.
yes.
He tweaked something recently. That's a I don't know, man.
I
Is he going to be irrelevant to this team?
it, I want to say no, but it's a little bit different right now. I think because with when they decided to play Liam Delap up top and João Pedro kind of right underneath him as that kind of attacking mid second striker. Like they were kind of cooking.
I know.
Delap, he picked up an injury. I didn't look what it was. But
Oh.
enough that they wanted to deny Jackson's move to Bayern, which obviously ended up going through. So I think there was some fear there, at least, that it was going to be significant. Yeah, August 30th. Liam's injury doesn't look good.
Oof.
It was full speed hamstring, so that requires weeks. So, while that's not anything official, it doesn't sound great, right? It'll be a little bit at least. So, I think you need Cole Palmer to, one, get healthy, and two, find some form again. But I also do think this team is kind of certainly moving on from those days of like, if Cole Palmer doesn't do it, we don't do anything.
Correct.
So.
That's big for them. And I'm not trying to say Cole Palmer is going to be irrelevant in the fact that he's not going to play. It was very much in the sense that he doesn't need to be the goal scorer every single game, do it all. Yeah. I do think they have plenty of quality up top now. It's at this point, it's like, don't try too hard, right?
Yeah.
Don't overdo it, which I feel like Palmer was really trying to do at the middle to end of last season, forcing so many shots and just not being in the right spot. A little worried for his injury. It didn't say it looked like a non-contact tweak in warm-ups. So that's never good. They're probably just staying patient. It says he's going to come back next week. Yeah, I think Chelsea has a very strong midfield, and that's, if you can control the game in the mid, success will come. They'll be interesting to watch. Again, their opponents have been nothing too extreme yet, right? A draw against Palace. I think Palace was disappointed they drew, and Chelsea was probably just disappointed in the way they played. An absolute thrashing of West Ham, and then a 2-0 easy victory against Fulham, which, again, I don't have Fulham playing that well this season anyway. I think Champions League, we'll see some. I think we'll get like the real taste of who they are when they play Bayern in a couple weeks. And then they got Man United, which they should be fine. It's the game I'm circling is October 4th against Liverpool. I think that'll be the true test in what they're going to do this season. And, if they beat Liverpool, the question might get asked, are you going to compete for a title this season? I'd love to see their answer this year.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if they are asked that, I think obviously they'll be kind of told to say, no, we're not in it, take it one game at a time, the typical thing. But I wouldn't be surprised if there is someone says something where maybe not directly like, yeah, we're in this, but something where like a read between the lines kind of situation of like, I'm not going to say we're in this, but like we're fighting for it, which, fair enough. You finally kind of landed on a consistent 11, right? Which for the longest time felt like was just impossible. So I don't know. I mean, I think they have quality to be up in that conversation, but I don't know that. I think there's two teams that'll be better than them. Just for full season view, I think third is really good for them, obviously. But yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see.
Great segue, Chad. 2 teams left.
Yeah.
Do you believe?
I do believe. Yeah.
Oh,
Let me tell you why.
I believe too, but for
I know you do.
I guess we don't have to say who our number 1 and number 2 is. Okay, we won't even say it.
Yeah. I think we got it.
Yeah.
I want to know why you believe, but I'll tell you why I believe.
You want me to start?
I mean, I can go. I'll start.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. I've seen the jokes. I've seen all the jokes. Second again, hilarious. But you got to be up there, and to be up there consistently, obviously I think bodes well for the way you're playing, the way you're building your squad. And outside of Premier League, you're okay. You haven't been doing so well in like FA Cup and the League Cup and all that, but in Champions League, you beat some bigger teams, you progress further than you have in a long time. So things I think generally are looking up, and I think pretty clearly the transfer window was not so much a build for the future, but a build to win it now window. You brought in Zubamendi to kind of hold down that midfield and be a deeper creator. Gyökeres obviously haven't had an out-and-out striker in a long time, and the Portuguese league is different. That's kind of the hold up there. But if you can get him up to speed and the squad working well with him, then he should be a menace up there. Madueke, finally, there's some Saka cover, which fans have been asking for past 5 years or so. I don't know. But beyond that, Eze comes in, like I said, can help out Odegaard, can be on that left side. I won't be surprised if we see them both on the field a lot, just because it's more creative energy out there, right? And Eze is good at dribbling at defenders and taking them on. Madueke, the same thing. Saka doesn't do it as much as I like, but I'm hoping that this is maybe a shift in idea a little bit for Arteta of like, take on your guy, and Gyökeres in the middle will be able to pull some of that double coverage on Saka away, hopefully at times. You got Kai Havertz. He's the Hulk now.
I do want to see him on the pitch. I really do want to see what he looks like out there with this new in-shape fit.
It's going to be fun to watch. And I think, it's just, while him and Gyökeres are a little bit similar, they also do offer some differences where, Kai can drop back a little bit more. And I mean, it's technically a midfielder, really. So, but otherwise, I think it's just like great backup pieces. Kepa as the backup keeper, I think, is great. Norgard as backup defensive mid, I think, is great. Mascara, we didn't plan to see him so early in this season, but he stepped in for Saliba and I think had a few shaky moments in his first few minutes, but then looked great the rest of the game. So pumped on that. Just got Hincapie from Leverkusen. Don't know anything about him, but people are excited. So I think it's just all the building has kind of come to this and culminated to this, and I think Arteta will, whether there is or isn't pressure from ownership and the board and stuff to like win now, he's got to understand that it's kind of beyond time, right? Like a lot of clubs wouldn't have given him this much time to do this. But I think, like all the pieces feel like they're falling together. While the game against Liverpool was not, a standard strong 11 versus strong 11, and too early in the season to really tell, but it never felt like we were at least on par with Liverpool. It going toe to toe, not like punching up, not punching down necessarily, but that could change as the squad and players come back in. But looking at the rest of the table, like none of those other teams seem to be as complete as Arsenal or Liverpool, really. I think it really is going to be the 2-horse race here. Of course, I believe Arsenal can do it. It's feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm not bummed about the loss. The points would have been great, but from what I saw, the team's moving in the right direction. Starting to learn the Gyökeres runs, hopefully. But yeah, that's it. That's where I'm at.
I can buy a little of what you're saying. I think the argument is you just have to. Liverpool is also there. I think that's the toughest. That's the toughest thing for Arsenal right now. Is they're gonna look up. I think most of the season to Liverpool, because I just don't know. Even though we've had a couple of rocky games here, It just seems like a little bit of lack of focus when things are going right. We've been up 2-0 in multiple games and giving up those leads and finding, we'll call them miracles. Why not? Everyone believes in miracles, right? 16-year-olds coming on the pitch and scoring game winners. Amazing. Cisse coming in, being the first Italian game-winning goal scorer for Liverpool. Just insane things that have happened in the last 3 games. My argument for this team is no one in the Premier League outside of Arsenal, I feel like, really, really, really tried to improve. And now that we have, I'm going to say, more depth in the midfields and this interesting rotation we can do, when we're playing against the lower table teams, we won't need to be throwing Salah out there to go bail us out. I truly believe we have 9 players on the starting 11 who could be the best player on the pitch at any given time. Starting up from Ekiteke, going all the way down to Virgil. Throw Allison in there. I think Kirkes and Konate are like the 2 points on our team where it's like, we don't really know what Kirkes can really do yet and what he's going to be. And Konate, I'm like, his future is a little worrisome. He does tweak things every now and then, but the fact that we're just going to be probably banging in goals a lot this season, it's going to be the we'll just outscore you, I think, mentality. What are we at now? We're at 8 goals scored and 4 goals let up. So not the greatest track record in terms of goals per and goals against, but we have the most goals in the league right now. We know how to score, and Salah hasn't had to do it. So I think that's a pretty key point to this season is, similar to Cole Palmer, Salah doesn't have to bail us out anymore. And, record-breaking season for him last year. I think this season's going to be not a drop-off in terms of quality. I just think there's so many other pieces now that we can rely on, and they can help alleviate Salah to, go deeper in Champions League. Get the rest that this, what are we now? Are we 33? This 33-year-old man deserves. Do I think we'll have slip-ups? Yeah, we seem to always do that. It probably should have happened maybe once or twice this season already. I just think I think the league set us up to be the 2-horse race, which, thank you, but also competition's good too. Right? When you have top 5 who are all gunning for it, you play harder. Every win does matter. Not saying these if it's a 2-horse race, the wins don't matter. It's just different when everyone is gunning for it. And because we're seeing slow starts from, just look at last year and who was in the top 5. Slow starts from City, Villa, Newcastle. Kudos to Tottenham, but they were 17th place last year. So, it's still going to be obviously a challenge. A lot of new faces, but the best thing is those new faces don't have to be the man every single game. And similar to Arsenal, Goikarez coming in there and not having to be the guy is huge. But I do think there's way more pressure on your number 9 than our number 9 to produce. That's where I'm not saying that's a problem. I'm not saying the pressure is good, but it's just I don't know. That's more of an internet like focal point is Goikarez and how many times did he touch his hair? Like, there's such a weird energy to Arsenal versus Liverpool. And I'm not going to say that players pay attention to that too much, but it just makes it slightly distracting. But again,
any of that outside noise, is
now
a recipe for taking you off your game. So
I think the thing is, we will not be surprised if any one of our teams wins this year. Do I expect Liverpool to win it? I do. Do I believe Arsenal could win it? Yes. Do I believe another team can sneak in there and take it from us? That's a tough take, and I don't think there is a team right now that I've seen that can make that argument.
Yeah, I think, I feel like, Arsenal's already kind of working with a handful of injuries, and is still. I still feel comfortable watching them and not like, ooh, here we go, So I think that's good. I think a lot of teams, while their starting 11 is good and can pose a threat, I think just a lot of these teams just don't have good depth, right? Like, while Arsenal's bench, I don't think you could say is necessarily like the Man City of old's bench, where it's like basically another starting 11. I think it's in that vein though, where it's like every sub we can bring on now feels like they can do a job, right? And the drop off won't be too big. So, Liverpool's kind of in that same boat, I think, too, with especially the attacking side. There's just so many players up there now, and I think it just.
Yeah, we got so many attackers. We're putting them at right back.
Yeah, you got to put them out there somehow, right? So I think short of like both Liverpool and Arsenal having absolute injury crisis prolonged for the season, like Chelsea, I think might always kind of be knocking at the door, but I think far enough off that they're not really too much of a talking point.
Last point I want to make: if Virgil goes down, I will redact a lot of statements.
That's my only thing with Liverpool. You got Szoboszlai at right back, which cool, he's doing the job, but you don't got much of those center backs.
Well,
so.
We got Connor Bradley and Frimpong. I mean, the right back situation's different. The center backs, though, it's a worry. I mean, I think if chaos ensues, Gravenberch's going to have to play back there.
Sure.
And Endo can. I don't want him to, but he can. You got Joey G. He's around. He's looking fit. He's around. I mean, it's true. He is around. But it's thin back there. But again, we will outscore you. We will outpossess you. That has to be the focal point of this season.
Yeah. I think so.
Rocking Alf. I don't think we'll be able to. If a team's going to possess the ball and be the dominant ones on the ball, that is the worry. Mm-hmm. But I don't think a lot of teams want to do that against Liverpool because we counter hard.
I don't know. They're gonna try and figure out something because you can't let Liverpool walk in every week and blow 5 past you. And as fun as that would be for you to watch, I think a lot of teams will. I mean, same as every season, right? Just kind of park the bus against the bigger teams and not let shots through. But it's Liverpool found a way through before, so they can definitely do it again.
Yeah, it'll be fun to watch. I'm looking at the calendar and just seeing what games. Could we really blow it open? And I think the one that I want to circle is the Crystal Palace game. I think that could be.
When do you play United? This could be another like 7-0 against United season.
We go Chelsea October 4th, Man United October 19th. With
you need Amorim to survive another like month.
It's not likely. I don't see it happening. All right, Chad. We're approaching 2 hours on this podcast. Jeez. It was a lot of time to make up. Yeah, a lot to say. I'm gonna learn how to timestamp this thing.
It's international break. What else are you doing?
Yeah, you got plenty of
drive,
time.
Throw it on. Yeah.
Take a little trip. Come down memory lane with us. All right. Anything else to say?
No, it's just good to be back.
Good to be back.
Like I've been trying to hold on to ideas and points I wanted to make over the past like 3 weeks. Well, longer than that, but since the season started at least, and it feels good to get it all out there.
Yeah, it feels good. We needed to not so much vent, more just discuss.
Yeah, exactly.
See what's going on out there in the Premier League. But we'll be back, no Monday games until the end of the month, so we'll probably get some pods in on Sundays. Get your subs in if you need some subs, and let's keep this fantasy league competitive. I don't want to see anyone go outside of 50 points. I know I'm in last, but if I can keep the last place and first place between 40 and everyone else in the middle, we'll make it competitive.
That'd be nice, yeah.
All right, Chad, with that, I think the Hooligans pitch. We're out. Peace.